Hi, everybody, and now here we are on our 22nd Facebook Live broadcast when it's all about you. It's all about you, the members of now of Network of Women, and it's to give you a stage to be able to come on here on a Facebook Live. And if you've never done a Facebook Live before, it's really good to do it with somebody who is time served Facebook Live now. So, well, let's, without any more ado, because after all, it is all about you, we are going to go over and speak to Elizabeth. Now, I know that Elizabeth is a digital marketing consultant, but I'm
Yes,
not
that's correct.
exactly sure what that is all about. So, Elizabeth, who are you and what do you do?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, my name's Elizabeth Myles Geddes, and I am indeed a digital marketing consultant. I would kind of qualify that and just say I'm a marketing consultant. Um, I've been doing marketing for a good 6, 7 years now, probably a lot longer without actually knowing I was doing it as part of a kind of sales function in business. So that I was doing it sort of the early age of digitization. It was still in its infancy, uh, but everybody's a digital marketer now. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm putting the industry down, but everybody is. So it's something. It's a good selling tool to kind of say, "Oh, I'm a digital marketer." However, I've saying all that, I've kind of come off piste, and I actually think a good USP for myself is to the way that I approach my work is I call myself a integrated marketing consultant, where I use digital techniques, but I also use traditional techniques because I think that every campaign really needs both.
Ah,
Uh, yeah. So
so digital, we're talking about the internet and your mobile phone and stuff. And when you mentioned, the traditional, that means like going out and talking to people.
going out and talking to people, events, print copy, old kind of advertising. The thing about those is that they're expensive. Digital is really it's cheap. It's such an easy way to access huge amounts of people. But I do find for me, and it sounds trite, but it's completely true through and through. Marketing is about relationships. It's about relationships, and you can relate to people digitally, but you can relate to people face to face. And I think depending on what you're doing, depending on what you're selling, you kind of
Yeah.
need a combination of both, to be honest. And that's why this kind of in the digital world, that's why this kind of one-to-one videoing, vlogging is so good because it gives you that person in your room. I still think that there's something about seeing somebody, an actual live person in front of you, but that's not always possible.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you
Mm,
because to actually be face to face with somebody, maybe with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or something,
so true.
you have that different interaction. But as you say, having said that, doing this through the internet, talking to people, we can reach out to the world.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's
It's
great.
it's it's boggling, isn't it? It's really boggling. And I mean, this is kind of going off piece, but it's connected slightly as well. It's just how much digitization has changed the world. It's how it's rapidly brought things to the fore, and how, for me, it's democratized. I guess business industry, how it's disrupted, you know, things like banking,
Yeah.
traditional professions and stuff for the better, I think, because it's forced transparency.
Yes.
So yeah, it's democratized it. So there's the fat cats don't get away with the same because they have to be accountable now. But anyway, that's kind of off.
It's, what I we've sort of grown into the digital world, and I mean my father was a farmer, and he died at 98, so he still
Wow.
was one of those people who walked behind a horse plowing. Now
Yeah, my
he
good.
found it, he just could not move onto the world of how farming is now, massive
Man.
tractors and stuff. And that's the same as the digital world. It is a transition, isn't it? We kind of have to go with it.
Yeah,
We
you do have
can't
to.
go back because this is how, I mean, this is your work. This is how you get out to people. tell me in what ways, maybe tell us what is your favorite way of being able to interact with others?
My favorite way of being able to interact with others is, that's a good question. I would say it's via the medium of vlogs. I think, as you've maybe seen kind of on your feeds, I'm working with Dawn Thompson, who's a
Yes.
an energy psychologist. So she's doing a series of uh, workshops called Dawn's Salon at the Kimpton Hotel in Edinburgh. And it's a really delightful project to work on. It's a really interesting project to work on. Creatively, it, she's she's kind of given me a lot of reach. I can she gives me the
Right.
subject and I try and interpret it. However, saying that, we've videoed quite a lot of her, face to face at the Kimpton, and that had a great response. That really had a great response. The thing of what's it's the sort of alchemy of, you have a great product, you have a great personality behind it, you have a good marketing strategy, and that's a really winning combination.
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah.
So you yourself, your personality, oh, you've got all these skills with digital marketing, and also your that's your forte, but also your personality when you meet these people brings out in those people, because you can see it,
Mm,
you can feel it, what
absolutely.
will work best for your client.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's really interesting you saying that. And that's probably, again, one of the, I think it's something that I'm probably growing into as well. That, I've been doing it for years, but I'm now recognizing it, that I do it. And what I do is I sit down, for instance, let's take Donna as an example. And she and I know the process of how to work now. Again, it's about building a relationship with your client. She and I talk, and I listen to her words. I listen to her aims for the salon, but I also look at Dawn. And Dawn is very, what I would say, very televisual. She's very extrovert. She speaks really well. She
Hmm.
comes across really well on
Yeah,
film. So I take aspects of her, and it's an alchemy. I try and stir them all together and put them all
yeah,
together in a way that's
yeah,
palatable, yeah, and
yeah.
that's comfortable for her,
And you're doing all that just without even thinking about it.
without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Without even thinking about
So
it,
if
yeah.
someone came to you and wanted to not necessarily hire you, but because we do get people saying to us, what can I do for this or what can I do for that? Today, what could somebody go out and do for themselves that would help them to be seen more?
Oh, right. Now, so again, you've probably heard this. You have to you have to market consistently. You have to put your content out consistently, 5 times a week, 7 times a week. You have to make sure that that content is good. And what I say about that is, so this is a good benchmark for, is your content good? There's a sort of 80-20 rule of thumb. Giving 80% of your content should be giving, and that can be giving advice, giving chat, asking people how they are, and 20% is selling your product, 20% is pushing whatever you're want to go out there. So it's very much about, it's about building
Yeah,
relationships, but it
yeah,
is, you've kind of got, but there's an emphasis on giving quality, giving advice, giving whatever you're the expert in, give it to people.
yeah. And your 80% has to be genuine. You have to be enjoying what you're doing because it
Yes,
comes across,
absolutely.
doesn't it?
It massively comes across. It's phenomenal. You can
Hmm.
feel, you see people, you know how people are doing digitally. I mean, I look at I look at people's campaigns and I go, right, I know that they're doing well. I know that they're not doing well, or
Good.
maybe they're not. It's not that they're not doing well. Maybe they're not present.
Hmm.
Uh, they're present. They're posting, but they're not really present. You could feel the energy behind things. It's
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely.
Yes,
And that is coming through the wires, through the lines.
It
Um,
is. It is.
and it's so, although it is really good to meet somebody, whether that's for business or whether it's for friendship, yes, you do get those vibes, you get those vibes immediately.
You
But
do.
also online, that comes through. And I don't know if you would agree with me, but I find it is immediate. It's not, never mind about your 3 seconds or your 4 seconds or whatever it is when you meet somebody. Online, it's straight away. I like them,
Yes.
I don't.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point, Lindsay. And I wonder again, there's a lot of in the press about trolling and just justifiably so, critiquing online protocol, if you want, and how people interact online. And I wonder whether there's absolutely no suspension of judgment online because you can really go for it. You know what I mean? When you meet in person, there's a sort of human time factor. All right, well, we'll take this in that. Whereas online, it's kind of like, I don't know, you have the liberty of liking or not liking, which sounds a bit
Absolutely.
brutal, but it's the way it is.
It
Yeah,
is. It is, because that's exactly in a nutshell, how I feel if I'm looking at somebody who's trying to sell their products. And like you, it's automatic. I'll go, no, not interested in that. And it's
yeah.
how they've come across.
I know, I know.
But, some people can do that naturally. Some people can't.
Yeah,
And
true, true.
that's when, if your campaign isn't working, that's when to think, right, I need somebody here to help me. I just
Yeah,
can't do it myself. And it's
yeah.
it's worth the money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, it's worth the money. Absolutely, it's
Hmm.
worth the money. And a lot,
Hmm.
again, within business, and I'm going to say it's men, but it's not. It's just a sort of business thing. They often say that if a business isn't doing well, marketing is one of the first things to go because the focus is on sales because sales is immediate money, it's immediate transactions, getting the money in. To a
Yeah,
level, I understand that. Whereas marketing is for me, marketing is selling intelligence. You're positioning yourself to reach the correct people or the people who will want to buy your product. You're the first stage of building that relationship. Um, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and I would say,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, it's a necessary stage.
It's great. Well, can you believe it? We are near the end of this interview.
James,
Oh, I know it just,
it's been
whoa,
a
just
pleasure. It's been a
flies.
pleasure. Yeah,
It's great. So
I mean,
let's
I could
ask
talk
you.
about this stuff all day.
Oh my goodness me, yes. Well, when we actually meet up for coffee, I'm sure it'll be like this between us. We'll have that be
Absolutely. Yeah.
fabulous. So let's ask this question. What are some kinds of things that you're interested in learning more about? Very quickly.
Right. Okay. Now, interestingly, I'm a bit of a nerdy girl. I just love learning. I love learning. So, what I plan to do personally is a couple of years ago, I embarked on doing an MBA, and I got through half of it. Don't ask it. Like so. Anyway,
Yeah,
personal things happened, and I couldn't complete it. So that is my goal this year: is to complete my MBA, and I'm so excited because I just love academia. I love the depth of thinking. So that's my thing.
fabulous.
That's my thing. So finish my business degree. Um, what do I want to keep learning? I'd love to learn videography. I'd love to learn more about filming techniques. If anybody's out there, we could collaborate. Um,
There you go. Excellent.
yes,
Great.
so that's
Good.
one thing that I definitely know I want to do. Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I
Thank you,
think we've
Lindsay.
we've learned a lot there from this broadcast, and exactly that. We've got so much more to learn. So
Absolutely.
there we go. Now that is the end of our 22nd episode of It's All About You. There are 100 altogether, so I've got a wee while to go yet. So February is all booked up. March, there's only one day left in March. All the slots are booked up. I'm into April and 9 days of May, which is when I finished on my birthday, and I'll be celebrating lots and lots of different things then. And it's a fabulous experience for everyone. I'm sure you'd agree, Elizabeth, to get on here.
It's fabulous. It's so good, and you're like the Parkinson of now. It's just charming. It's a charming interaction. It really is.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so
Okay.
we're going to say goodbye to everyone and now. I'm going to love you and leave you, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now, everyone
Okay.
and now.
Thank you. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.